Hello, how are you all? I hope that you have continued your studies in this break that we had. I remember now, and although I have been providing you notes and PPTs, um, I realize that apparently it is not enough to cover your syllabus, and I need to step up and finally do some, face to face, either video conferencing or this kind of video lecture with you, so that you get a better understanding of few of the topics. Now, before starting onto the lecture that I have in mind today, I hope that the introduction to financial management and the topics that we did, that is cost of capital and capital budgeting, are clear with you. And see, in the class I used to focus on numericals because I cannot take it that my students are afraid of numericals, but the undue influence which I put on numericals is correct. But one thing I have understood now, that from the queries of most of you that I am receiving on my personal number, is that theory is equally important. Children, do not neglect that, and it is a substantial portion of your paper as well. So like if you are solving the numericals on the theories of and the various models of capital budgeting and cost of capital, then it is also important for you to learn the assumptions, the various decision criteria, because sometimes they come in the question paper as short questions. Okay, so the questions, I've got some queries also from you all on dividend. So I would like to take up this lecture of today on dividend. So first you need to know what is dividend, all right, and what is this dilemma about dividend, and there are 2-3 models which need to be discussed with you, all right. So I hope you know what is the term dividend, what it signifies, what it means. See, at the end, when profit remains with the company after paying off all the external liabilities, then it is a decision with the management whether to retain that profit, that is also known as plowing back of profit, and if they have very profitable avenues, they might consider this, that they might reinvest the profit that is left after paying off all the external liabilities, or what they might do is they might pay dividend. All right, there's a ratio which defines it. It is known as a dividend payout ratio, and sometimes the companies also form dividend equalization reserve fund to keep a steady outflow of dividend to the investors. All right, so what is important is that you need to know in financial management there are 3 most important decisions which a manager has to take. One of them will be the investing activities, the financing activities, and the dividend decisions. The investing decisions, the financing decisions, and the dividend decision will ultimately reveal whether the shareholders' wealth has been maximized or not by the company. And only when there is increasing trend of shareholders' wealth, or there is an increasing trend in the market price of the share, will the investor want to continue with the same organization. Otherwise, what will he do? He'll just sell off his share and move on to another company which seems more profitable to him. All right, so why does this dilemma arise? See, there are 2 reasons behind this dilemma. That suppose there is a firm which has a lot of profitable investments available to it, and there are chances that the opportunity will be lost if immediately not grasped. So what it can do, in case it has made any profit, what it can do, it can invest in those areas. Otherwise, if it resorts to taking debt for investment, then again there is a debt trap. All right, and remember that debt, if you are taking, you are borrowing loan, or you are taking debentures, issuing debentures, then obviously you have to repay an interest on that, and that is a very big burden on the company. So what the company thinks, if there are substantial profits, then instead of distributing the entire thing as dividend, it is better to retain a certain amount of profit from it. All right. When we were doing the numericals in the class, I hope you remember that most of the time the profit that you were given, I used to term it as PBIT. PBIT means the profit before interest and taxes. So I hope you remember that first what we subtracted from it. The first element that we removed from PBIT was the element of I, that is interest. Alright. So what did we have remaining after that? PBT. PBT was profit before taxes. Then I told you that what you have to subtract from that afterwards? You have to subtract the T. Alright. T means taxes here. So what you have now is PAT, profit after taxes. Alright. So what all we have paid interest on the bank loan, we have paid interest on the debentures, we have also paid the taxes to the government. Now whatever earning is remaining with you, that is known as profit after tax. Alright. So but that doesn't mean that you can have that entire PAT to pay to your equity shareholders, because there is one more thing that has to be paid, and that is your preference dividend. Alright, so preference dividend has to be paid after that from PAT. You have to subtract it, and then whatever you get remaining is the earning available to the shareholders. Now what you do to calculate the EPS, earning per share, you divide the earnings available to the shareholders by the number of shareholders, and finally what you get is earning per share. Alright. So this was just a recapitulation of what I had already done with you. So why do you think this dividend decision is very important? I had discussed 3 models with you. I have given it to you in your notes. One is the Walter model, one is the Gordon model, and one of them is the model, Modigliani-Miller. So these 2 models, which are Walter and Gordon, they say that dividend has a very relevant role to play, and it is very relevant decision, and the decision which the firm takes on this matter has a very huge impact on the earnings of the shareholders, or the maximization of wealth of the shareholders. Whereas the model or the Modigliani-Miller model says that this decision of dividend is irrelevant, and the investor is not concerned with whether the company is plowing back the profits or it is taking the decision to pay out the dividend, as long as ultimately the value of the shares are enhanced. Okay, so these 3 models are very important from your examination point of view, and not only do you need to learn the formulae which have been put out and solve a couple of numericals, but you should also know the assumptions, because sometimes they'll just give you in the short question that what are the assumptions of the model of dividend theory. So you have to keep them in mind. Alright, so moving on, I would like to discuss there are a few factors which are there which affect the dividend policy. The factors which affect the dividend policy are the nature of the business. Alright, that whether this business requires plowing back of profit, or are they comfortable with paying the entire profit that they have made as dividend. So that is very important. Apart from that, the important factors which you must remember are the ownership considerations, the firm oriented considerations, the attitudes and objectives of the management, the regularity, the desire for financial solvency and liquidity. All right. And some other factors may be the age of the company. Like a growth oriented company will plow back more profit because it has more profitable avenues in which they can be invested, whereas a mature company would like to pay out more dividend because of lack of profitable opportunities of reinvestment within the company. What are the goals of the dividend policy? Alright, dividend policy should be analyzed in terms of its effect on the value of the company. Investment by the company in any new profitable opportunities creates value, and when a company foregoes an attractive investment, shareholders incur an opportunity lost. Dividend investment and financing decisions are interdependent, and there is often a trade off. Should not be treated as a short run residual value. Matlab, see, the meaning of residual here is that after exhausting all kind of profitable investment that is available, then the company is going for that whatever is remaining will pay out as dividend, but that is not satisfying to the investor, and apart from being unsatisfactory for the current investors, it will not attract any new investors to the company. Dividend policy should be clearly communicated to the investors, and they may take their decisions in terms of their own preference and needs. Erratic and frequent changes in dividends should be avoided. All right, like a small amount of dividend you give out, the company may give out every year, and in case there is any surplus, they might give it to the investors or the shareholders. But what is important is there should not be fluctuations, like one time you're giving out earning per share is 10 rupees and the other time it is just 2 rupees. So such erratic decisions and fluctuations should be avoided, so that the shareholders feel that this company has achieved stability. One concept I would like to discuss with you is that dividend can be declared in two forms. One is cash dividend, and the other is known as stock dividend, also known as bonus shares. So this is very important for you to know in the dividend concept. Alright, so you'll ask me that again and again. I'm telling you that what are the various policies which the company should frame. Why am I putting so much of emphasis on dividend? See, the reason behind is that the company should be optimal. Alright, in plowing back of profit, ऐसा नहीं है कि 100% डिविडेंड पे आउट कर दिया या 0% रिटेंशन है या 100% रिटेंशन है and there is no dividend being paid out. Again, that will impact the investors and the shareholders in a very negative manner. Alright, like you must have heard this saying that you can't have the cake and eat it too. अब if you have a piece of cake, you can't फ्रिज में रख भी नहीं सकते और पेट में भी नहीं रख सकते. You can't just gobble it up. So either you will have the cake with you or you would have eaten it. Alright. Similarly, either you can save the money which you have or you can spend it. You can't have it both ways. Unless, of course, you work out a very optimum decision in it, that okay, whatever I'm earning, 50% I'll save and only 50% I'll consume. Similarly, what you can do in your dividend decision. Alright, so this thing has to be kept in mind, and but because of the market fluctuations, the frauds that are going on, and the imperfections which are going on in the market, so what happens is that there is a saying, if you have heard, that one bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So many investors go in for the preference of current cash dividend, as compared to if you make them promises of a future capital appreciation. That is not very welcome by the investors, because they do not know that what will be the condition of the market if you're promising them after 2 years. So they would rather be happy with the EPS or the dividend payout currently than wait for the promises of higher capital appreciation or higher dividend payout after 2 years. So there is preference for current dividend, and when the rate of the dividend payout also increases, then it indirectly increases the market price of the share as well, and that is something that the investors are looking for. See, there is this table that I would like to discuss with you: the merits of the stock dividend or the bonus shares. To the company, first, it results in more plowing back of the profit, helps in financing for moderation and expansion programs. It stabilizes future dividends, reduces undercapitalization, helps in maintenance of liquid position, and widens the marketability of the company shares with reduction in the prices of the shares. And what are the advantages of bonus share to the shareholders? It is not subject to income tax. It results in large amount of dividend, can be realized in case of necessity. Association with the company is increases demand for shares of investors, rise in the wealth of the investors. So if the company does not want to give out cash dividend, then issuing stock dividend or bonus shares is a very good option that is available with the company. One thing which you must know about dividend, that the term dividend refers to that part of the profits of the company which is distributed by the company to its shareholders. It is actually you can also say that it is the reward for the it is a reward for the shareholders for the investments they have made in the shares of the company. Alright, what is the significance of the dividend policy? This is another important theory question which you must know, that the firm has to balance between the growth of the company and the distribution to the shareholders. And if you see there, you have to maintain a balance. You can't have depends on whether you can completely distribute the dividends or whether you need to retain a certain portion. So proper optimum balance has to be maintained. Alright, it is a desirable of the management that to distribute the shareholders a certain percentage of the earnings as a reward for their investment. Significance of stability of dividend, like I told you before, that there should not be a lot of fluctuations in the amount that is being paid. Like suppose this year we are paying 10, next year we are paying 2, and the year after we are not paying any dividend, then it will not be known as a stable rate of dividend being paid to the investors, and it will cause a lot of discontent among the shareholders. So if you are giving out a stable rate of dividend, then it leads to the shareholders having a lot of confidence on you, and the investors, they desire current income. Institutional investors require stability of dividend to show that whatever practices are going on in the firm are actually stable and do not fluctuate, and they are dependable. Raising additional finances also, and spreading ownership of outstanding shares reduces the chances of control and market for debentures and preference shares. This is important. Now like I discussed with you before also, that what are the merits and demerits of having to issue the bonus shares. So you have to keep those in mind.